Hello, everyone. We are live on Hot Movies Official. My name is Jada Kai, your host today. It's Memorial Day weekend, so thank you for coming and stopping by the show. Today's special guest is Lucky Starr. Here at Hot Movies, we're celebrating Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month. And let me bring Lucky in right now. For those of you that don't know, she is our very special guest. She has quite a big library on hotmovies.com, so you're going to have to check that out. She just came out with a book. I'm excited to talk to her about that. She is also Filipina, so we can learn about her culture and how she celebrates this month. There she. Hi, Lucky.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Yeah, just getting stuff done today, doing laundry. It's been a crazy month. Crazy month.
I'm glad you're not stuck in the washer.
Yeah. So what's going on?
Not much. I'm excited that you're here today. Thank you for spending time with us.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, of course. So Lucky, like me, is you're 100% Filipina. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yay. How
My
are you
hair's all over the
celebrating?
place. How am I celebrating?
Oh,
You know what? This has just been a crazy month because I've been shooting a lot, and I just shot for Trike Patrol again,
okay.
and yeah, and oh yeah, I'd like to start with a little joke. So, why do Asians have small boobs?
Why?
Because A is the only acceptable grade in Asian cultures.
That's good.
I said that in my scene too for Trike Patrol because it's interesting for Trike Patrol. It's like because I used to go to the Philippines and film, and now it's like I don't know if it's because Pornhub had to like clean up shop and get rid of all that random stuff filmed in whatever. But now it's like the used performers, and which is nice. I mean, we benefit from it. But last couple of days, I've been running around like a chicken without a head because I flew to Tampa and back. I literally like flew out Tuesday noon and I got back Wednesday at midnight. And so right now I'm like, I'm haven't done laundry. I'm getting caught up this weekend. If I don't do anything this Memorial Day weekend, that's just great because I don't want to do shit.
Oh, I love doing nothing. That's my favorite hobby.
I know. My cat keeps staring at me like I haven't fed him. I feed him like all the time. Anyway.
So you used to go to the Philippines to shoot?
No. I didn't. I'm saying Trek Patrol did.
Oh, yes.
If I tried to shoot in the Philippines, they want to give me like a chicken and flip-flops or something. And I'm like, no, that doesn't, it's not how this works. But no, I've actually never, have I shot in a foreign country? I have not. I would always like to, but I don't think Philippines is the place because why get me when they could get that person for like $5? Hate to say it.
Yeah, for
Mm-hmm.
sure.
Mm-hmm.
What's your favorite part about Philippine culture?
The food. No, actually, more of the sense of family. Even though my family is
Oh,
small, we're still close.
but
Uh,
everyone's your tita.
yeah, and I do that because I grew up in an all-white suburb of Chicago. So, and there were no other ethnic races. There were no black people, no Latinos, nothing. We were it. So people treated
Wait,
us like
where'd you
family.
grow up?
Suburbs of Chicago.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
yeah. So
You
people
would think
always
that it was like really diverse over there.
no. Well, thing is, it is now. But when I was growing up, it wasn't so much. If anything was different to them, they treated us differently. And I have other friends that have experienced the same thing when they grow up as a different culture in a all white or all black or whatever suburb. And it's just not easy. It's not easy because, first of all, they ask why I have a Hispanic last name. And I just roll my eyes. I'm like, do you really need a history lesson right now? Really? Wow. Um, they're just kind of like, well, are you Asian? Because or they think we're Pacific Islander, and there is like a difference. I'm all about Pacific Islander culture. For some reason, I dig it and I study it and all this other stuff. But Filipinos are on the continent of Asia, so we are Asian.
Oh, we're not Pacific Islanders?
Well, the other Asian countries would like to push us out further in the ocean so we could officially become Pacific Islander, but Pacific Islanders are really fucking cool, so that's okay.
Wait, who does Pacific Islanders like pertain
That
to?
French Polynesians like Tahiti, Samoa, Tonga, Fiji, even Hawaii, all the cool islands. No, we're not. Okay, it's not what Philippines is a cool island. I don't know if you can experience this, but as a Filipino American, do you find like, at least your friends or your family adopt other cultures? Because, is that weird to
No,
say?
no, no. I think that's completely true
Mhm.
because, um, I mean, of course, we have like our foods that are native to us, but we definitely do lots of other, like we'll do Chinese New Year's, or Lunar New Year.
Or in my
Um,
dance class, I dance in a Polynesian class, and like there's a ton of Filipinos in my class. And why we're so magically drawn to that, I have no idea. I wish someone would dispel the myth to me. Why are we drawn to like Hawaiian culture or Polynesian culture? Why are we drawn to other cultures? Like, I don't know. It's just a thing of mine. It's my hobby, but then I look at my class, I'm like, there's a shit ton of Filipinos here. And that's the thing. I get along with them because like attracts like. Like when I was growing up, like the one other Filipino girl in class, she'd always be my bestie. Same with college. And now I'm in California.
what were your biggest struggles growing up, as
Racism,
a
racism. I hate to say
really?
it. Yeah, yeah. Like I
Wow.
look at the guy and I think he was cute and I'd smile and he'd go like this. I'm not lying to you.
Uh,
I'm not lying to you. It was really, really rough growing up in the suburbs of Chicago because it's different now. But back then it was not easy. And my whole family experienced the same thing. And my brother experienced so badly that he doesn't even admit to people that he's Filipino. He says he's Hawaiian. I
wow.
know, I know, I know.
Oh my
But
gosh.
Hawaiian's pretty cool too. Mm,
Yeah, for
mm.
sure. I'm sorry
Oh,
that you had to go through that. I mean, I kind of went through a little bit of that. Like
where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Delaware, which
Oh,
was
okay,
fun,
there you
but
go.
elementary school, I feel like, some of the kids would do the thing
I
and be like
know.
kinky eyes and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and then I had like two Asian girlfriends, and they would call us the Chang sisters, which was like a joke. Like we embraced it, but now going back, I'm like, oh, that was
Hmm.
definitely racist and not okay.
I know. You get
What
in
does
real
it,
trouble for that now.
yeah,
Sorry, this
what
is
does it
Victor
mean for
V.
you to be, oh, what's your kitty's name?
Victor Victoria.
Victor Victoria. It was so wise.
Okay. Sorry, what'd you say?
I was gonna ask, what does it mean for you to be in porn now as an Asian performer?
It started out when I started out like in 2009. I as an Asian female in porn, it's like that was I tried to be an actress out here, and at the time there wasn't any work for Asian American females. I mean, it's different now, but when I started out, I'm like there was like nothing. Um, so I'm just like I might as well start doing porn because there's always going to be a job for us. But
Yeah.
even then, that was when I was able to fake an accent. I could do a little race play, that me so horny shit I did all day long. But you can't do that now. And now it's like even one of those things that even if it was an Asian video, they can't, like, what's the word? They have to sort of veer away from the whole race
Like,
factor.
yeah, like cultural appropriation.
Yeah, yeah. But I've done a lot of those where I fake an accent and you know, I even spoke Tagalog in one, which is kind of funny because I don't speak Tagalog, so I learned it phonetically. And I play Ember Snow's mom, and I studied real, real hard to learn the lines and do it like with the accents and everything, and not fuck it up. And if anything threw me off, then I would mess up the line. I'm like, no, I'm a realist. I have to do this in Tagalog. Boom.
Wow.
And I don't speak
Yeah.
Tagalog.
Yeah, Tagalog is also because there's so many languages in the Philippines, but that's
Hmm.
what my fam family spoke.
Hmm.
They
Mine
didn't
too.
want me to learn Tagalog because they didn't want me to have an accent. Like they were like, you're gonna be American.
See, and that's the thing. My mom didn't teach us Tagalog because she wanted it to be the secret language that she and my dad would have so could talk about us and not have us not understand. But the second they would say our name, I'm like, oh, okay, she's talking about me. So then I tried to, crack the code, I guess you could say. I never really did. But yeah, that was their own secret code. And it's they didn't teach us, and there's a
Yeah,
lot of Filipino Americans that are like that.
right. Oh my God. So we grew up very similarly,
Mm-hmm.
where they would talk about us. And I'm like, that's a little bit traumatizing, I think, to
Yeah,
like
yeah,
being talked to about right in
hmm
front of you.
yeah,
And
yeah.
like, yeah. And I feel like I would just be left out because I was the only child. Were
Oh,
you?
no. Well, here's the deal. I had two siblings, but now I have one. My sister passed recently, like 3 weeks
Oh,
ago.
I'm so
I know.
sorry.
Yeah, yeah. I
I know
blogged
what I'm
about it.
talking about.
Huh?
I have a brother and I have two half sisters, but I grew up as an only child. They exist, but I
Okay.
grew up.
Oh, okay, okay. I have a half sister too, but my parents divorced when I was young. But my dad remarried a Filipino, and my mom remarried Puti, a white man. And yeah, yeah, my dad was so hardcore Filipino, like really hardcore, to the point where he was to yell at us. I hate to say it.
Wait, you
And
cut out a
if
little bit? Your dad what?
yeah, sorry, no, my fucking boyfriend keeps calling me, and I just want to feel like he knows what I'm doing. So if I cut out and I oh wait, hang on, let me just tell him I'm like, I'll do it on here. Excuse me for a second.
You're good.
Okay, hang
Thank
on a
you
second.
everyone for coming to hang out with us today. If you have any questions for us at the end of the show, there's a question mark right there on the bottom. You can click that button, type in your question, and we'll get to it at the end. As long as they're Instagram appropriate,
Yeah,
we will
exactly.
answer them.
So what is Instagram appropriate? Like, so can we talk about things but not actually do things?
Yes,
Okay. So if they say show us your boobies, we cannot obviously.
we're not going to engage with that.
And we could be like, okay, no, you sign on to onlyfans.com. And then, if you give me a little something, something for my pocket, then maybe I will.
Yes,
Right? Okay.
yes, yes, yes.
And also buy my new book. My book, I Am Lucky, has been out for 2 years, but now as my new sequel, I Am Still Lucky.
Oh, this is your second book.
Mm-hmm. It's selling
Nice.
really well. And when I was at the Exotica convention at the end of April, all my books sold like that. And apparently they said it's good. So I just put it out there, and I'm like, I hope you like it. So yeah.
How long did your first book take, and how long did your second book take?
Well, the thing is, because I have a blog, which a lot of people read, and it really was just sort of like my form of personal therapy. And it literally started the day I started in the industry. So it was everything. So then I would cut out the bullshit, cut and paste all the good parts from my blog, and I put it into a book. And when I say cut out the bullshit, like I would say all these things about guys that didn't last very long anyway. So I just try to keep the storyline all about being in the industry and what it's like to be in the industry. And then the second one was really more of like still talking about the industry, but more of the adventures. And I do talk more about my relationships I had along the way. But, like I said, I put it out there, and I'm like, I hope it's good, and everyone's liking it. So that's good. Available on
Yay,
Amazon,
congratulations.
amazon.com. Thank you. Thank you.
That's so exciting.
Thank you.
In porn, what are your favorite roles to play?
Oh gosh. Well, you know what? My favorite and what I do all the time are two totally different things. Like my favorite roles are like I was a leading lady in a feature, but I wasn't cast as that role. I was like a last minute replacement. But that would be my favorite one. But not a lot of people are doing features anymore, kind of few and far between. But what I usually do now is like the stepmom stuff, the no stuff, not even necessarily like an Asian video anymore. I just would do the videos, and I just happen to be Asian because I think they try to veer away from that sort of race stereotype.
Yeah, I think that's a really good thing. Do you?
Yeah. I mean, I do, but it's also like, I don't care. Just give me work. You know what I mean? So yeah, maybe to dispel a myth for me because, okay, all of my content's on my phone. And what I have to do is on my phone, I have to upload it to my phone and then drop it onto my fan sites. And it's saying that I have no space on my phone. I'm like, bullshit. I have like a lot of space. So I don't know if you experience that, or am I just technically illiterate, or what?
I mean, you might have too much porn on your phone.
I don't think so. I look at it, and first of all, I got the most gigabytes you could possibly get. So don't tell me there's no fucking space. Because in honor of AAPI month, I wanted to upload my scene with David Lee, and then with you after that. And it's not letting me, and it's frustrating as heck. So I don't know if you know anything about that sort of thing. Or no, you have a whole different genre. You like do the really big like quality stuff.
I feel like I do a little bit of everything. I love the amateur side of it, and then I also really like the pro side because I think it shows who you are in different lights.
You have to do like across the board, everything across the board.
So you've been in the industry for a while. How do you feel like the industry has changed?
It's changed dramatically. Because first of all, when you first got in, you had your agent, and that's it. The agent got you the work. You went and did the work. You went home. Everyone identified you from your agent. There were more features being shot. There were more big production numbers. Certain sites would spend a huge amount on budget just for a scene, like something really, really simple. And things have changed so much because now that the fan sites are like... excuse me, fan sites are king. People are very more towards those, but it's not like me going to a set and having a production company around me. It's just like me grabbing my phone. I'm like, okay, let's shoot some content, But it used to be a lot more fun when I did the fan sites because, like, even when I used to host the swingers parties, I used to just, I'd be surrounded by a chandelier of peni, and I'd whip out my phone. I'd be like, hey, you guys mind? And they'd be like, yeah, they'd be like, no, just don't get my face in it. And it was as easy as that. Now it's just like, okay, give me your IDs, give me sign these model releases. And it's all that now, but a lot of people are not willing to do that. So I wish, well, I don't know, ever since OnlyFans kind of blew up, they had to follow everything by the rules. And a lot of things are very, very much by the rules now.
Do you feel like the industry has changed for the best, or do you feel like you want to go back in time?
Honestly, I loved the heyday. I wish I could go back in time, but also just working for yourself and shooting your own content has its advantages as well. No one could take your money. You could do whatever the fuck you want. You could work with whoever you want. There's pluses and minuses to each side. But I do miss going to a big feature and going onto the set and us goofing off most of the time. And many times, I'm not just in front of the camera, I also work behind the scenes. I'd also be like porn star wrangler. So sometimes you're trying to find someone and they're in a corner fucking, or you're trying to find somebody else and they're in their car smoking weed, and then I'm like, yeah. So yeah, I've done all aspects of this industry, backwards, forwards, production, all this stuff.
Where is your favorite place to be in a production set?
Oh, in front of the camera, of course. I hate to say it. I don't know if I'm just I just feel like when I do a good scene, acting, then sex or whatever, I feel like I'm doing something good for mankind, I guess. I feel like I walk out of there feeling so empowered. Like I just created something wonderful that people are going to really, really enjoy. And that's what I like a lot. Sometimes that's not the case. It depends on the scene, because I've done so many things across the board. I've done an extreme scene. I've done very, very extreme violent scenes. And I've done really tame vanilla stuff. I've done a lot of fetish stuff. And I'm not even really a fetish kind of girl, but I'm just kind of like, oh, you're paying me? Okay, sure. I'll do whatever. I hate to say it. It's like, I've become that person.
You said that before you started, your partner was really into seeing you with, like, you were kind of like a hot wife.
Mm-hmm.
Did you feel like after you joined porn, did you carry a lot of stuff from like your porn sets to your normal life?
Well, that's the thing. Probably what you're talking about is when I got in the industry, I was with fiancé number 4, because I've had 5. And number 4, I thought first was really, really hot. And we used to go to swingers clubs and all this other stuff. And then once my career started taking off, he started resenting me. He started like getting mad at me. He wanted me to quit. I'm like, I can't now. I'm in too deep. And just really resenting me, but then doing shitty things to me because I wouldn't do what he said. I'm like, you wanted me to get into this, and now you're changing your mind. And you can't unfuck what's been fucked. You can't, after a while, I'm just kind of like, you know what? After, I don't know, a million breakups and me moving out of him at least 2 or 3 times, you have to realize to yourself that it's just not meant to be. So that I had to just take off and do everything on my own. And a guy that's not understanding about everything you do is not the right guy for you. If you're excuse me, if you're doing a lot of scenes, you can't be mad at you. He has to understand that work is work. And there's a lot of guys that don't understand. So like, well, you fucked a guy. And this fancy number 4 kept saying, you fuck men for money. You fuck men for money. And I'm like, where did this come from? It was crazy. The last straw was because I wouldn't, it wasn't about sex. It was about control. And because everything was out of his control now, he hated me for it. And the last straw was one time he just went away for a week in Vegas by himself. And I was home. And then I looked up and then he was gone. And then I'm like, that's the straw that broke the camel's back. I had to move out, find a place to live. I was really, really struggling financially for a while. And then I just, things just sort of took a turn when the industry turned, because suddenly we don't have to rely on other people to make money. We just rely on ourselves.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
How do you feel like a partner, how do I phrase this? How do you get a partner to be supportive? Like, what are some things
here's the
that
deal.
a partner can do to support you? Just because I feel like this is a very frequent thing when people first get into porn and they do have a partner and they're like, yeah, it's fine. I feel like people just like don't know how to be supportive.
Well, the thing is, you have to just go on with doing what you have to do. And he was just like, that's not acceptable. I'm like, well, then this relationship's not going to work. There's so many times I've made so many exceptions for guys. And then with fiance number 5, I even like graduated from bartending school to try to veer out of the industry and have a completely and totally like non-sex work related life. And after a while, I'm like, you know what, go fuck yourself. That still didn't stop him from frantically trying to talk to other girls behind my back and eventually leaving me for one. And then I realized now it's just kind of like, what do you do? What you have to do, you have to do. The guys will come and go. You know what I mean? They will. And even if you're just like, oh, but he's the man for me. No, trust me, he's not. So I'm at a point now where I'm just kind of like, no, I don't need anyone. I'm good. I'm cool. I'm really good.
Yeah. I feel like, I'm sorry that you had to go through that.
I know.
So.
I know. But that's the thing. It's like, I used to be a time when I used to have like there was me and then there was my other half, and now I'm just kind of like, no, there's just me. Even when I'm dating someone, I'm just kind of like, me is more important. If you can't deal with it, bye, see ya.
Can I ask what your relationship status is now?
Okay.
Oh, you said you had a boyfriend. Your boyfriend just called.
Here's the deal. It's really more boy toy, but tell him I said that. I'm like looking left and right. But okay, let's just say he fits into my life because when I go out of town, here's my cat. Can you watch him? Okay, thanks. I'm going to the airport. Can you give me a ride? Okay, cool. He's a nice guy. He's very, very sweet, but he's very, very young, like very young. So I'm basically a cougar, and he's my prey. But you know what? So I don't what's the word? I don't put so much stress out. I don't try to emphasize anything. We just take things one day at a time, and I'm not gonna put any stress on. I don't need that happily ever after man and wife in front of a castle and live happily ever after shit anymore, because I need myself. I don't need anybody else. So it's just like, he's back there, and I'm like, okay, watch the cat. Cool. Okay, thanks. But classify it however you want to. But right now, I call him my boy toy.
Ugh. That sounds fun.
Yeah.
I will
but
also
he's completely understanding about everything.
Oh, that's good. So,
Yeah,
see, that sounds supportive.
yeah.
Like as long as they're understanding and they can, be there for you at the end of the day, those
Mm-hmm,
are what I think are supportive
mm-hmm,
traits.
mm-hmm.
So you were also a dancer, right? You said you were doing a traditional dance class right
Mm-hmm.
now,
Mm-hmm.
but you were also a dancer for a very long time before that. Did
Mm-hmm.
you also strip or no?
There's not a dance form I have not done.
Oh,
So
okay.
not one. If there's a dance form that I want to tackle, I'll tackle it, and I have to master it. So it started with ballet, tap, jazz, then hip hop, flamenco, hula, and now Tahitian, strictly Tahitian. Um, and thing is, okay, some people like have to do drugs to get a high. My high is dance. I, I feel
Oh,
I feel so empowered by dancing, and I love it. I drive a really far distance for me to go to dance class every single day, but it's what rounds me out. So with all
wow.
this shit that's been happening in my life with my sister and everything, when I go to class, all the problems sort of go away, but I have stripped. In fact, that's how Lucky was born. Was in fact, I was in Chicago and I lost my day job. I had one day job in Chicago that was like one of those 9 to 5 Monday through Friday, which is what Chicago is all about. And I lost my job, and then all of a sudden, my friends sort of talked me into going to this bikini bar. I mean, you didn't even take anything off. You had to wear like 2 sets of nylons and a bikini, and then hustle for like really cheap dances, and it was non-alcoholic. So you can understand how little I actually made, but it was my start. And then I learned a couple of things, and I worked at another club. But then did it like kind of on and off since then. Like one time I did in Pasadena, one time I did here in the Valley. But I honestly don't strip now unless I'm feature dancing where they actually pay you to be there. I really hate the whole hustling aspect of stripping. Like, hi, do you want to dance? Can I dance for you? I think you want a private dance. No, I fucking hate that. I hate that. I hate that. I want to know how much money I'm making when I walk in the door. End of story. And that I can't, if there's a little extra, great. But that's why I like feature dancing, because they pay you to be there.
What is your favorite form of dance?
Oh, that's a good question. Thing is, I've done a lot of musical theater, but probably what I'm trying to master now, which is Tahitian dance, is my favorite form of dance. And there's more to it than meets the eye. Because when people think of hula or they think of Tahitian, they think of what they see like at a luau, and they sort of, what's the word, zhuzh it up for the tourists. But there's really so much more that goes into that, so much more heart, so much more meaning, so much more of a cultural aspect, cultural appreciation. Uh, yeah, and which is kind of funny because I never studied like tinikling or anything like that. I would like to. Maybe that'll be the next one on the list. I want to study Bollywood. I want to study Irish
Oh,
step dancing. I want to learn it all. I want to not be a single dance form I have not mastered. But when I was in high school, man, I had the point shoes. I was going to dance with my company more than I was going to school, and that was my passion. But then I stopped growing, and you know how that goes.
uh, let's dive into some of the questions the audience has asked.
Mm-hmm.
This kind of relates to what we were just talking about. Where did the question go?
Oh, you have to scroll a little bit.
Oh, someone already asked. I already asked her that, but I just wanted to throw that
Oh,
up
someone
there.
said, Lucky, what is your favorite dance that you learn? Probably Tahitian, like right now, because a lot of people think Tahitian and hula are the same thing. No, it's not. Okay, let's say like hula is more like movements and stuff like that, but Tahitian, wait, I'm gonna back this up a little bit, is all about, I gotta stand on this thing, like the hips, like that. It's so hard to do this like on a couch, but someday I'll show you the whole shebang. But yeah, that's my passion now, and
That's
it's a lot of
amazing.
fun. My friends are a lot
When
of fun.
when did you start like dance? When did you start like taking it seriously?
Oh gosh, in high school, like with ballet and stuff like that. It was like one of those things where I was in 8th grade and wandered into this one dance company where they gave you free lessons, but then you became their minions to go do shows so that they can make money. But I was dancing so much once I was just sort of catapulted into it, there was like no turning back. But then, the ballet world wasn't loving me. I don't have a very good extension. I just don't. And, I don't have a lean dancer's body. But then I sort of veered into musical theater. So I was doing musical theater professionally when I was 19.
Oh,
So,
wow.
yeah. I started out in the show A Chorus Line, and they need like a short
Oh,
Asian female
of
dancer.
course.
So I did that show 5 times, and I've done lots of other musicals since then. So musical theater is my passion. It's just one of those things that when I moved out to California, like I wanted to do theater, but also do TV and film. But there's not as much theater as there was in Chicago. And now Chicago, that market's totally changed. But I'll always have that passion for theater. And I always go to New York on a regular basis and see as many Broadway shows as possible. So I can get
What's your
inspired.
favorite Broadway show?
Oh, gosh. You know what? That's a loaded question because there's like a million that are really, really good. Well, there's some recent ones I saw. Oh, Moulin Rouge is excellent because I saw it in Chicago,
It's
that national
sexy.
tour, and then I already have tickets for the Pantages here. So it's really good. It's really good. It's just like so much energy and inspires you to just be like, yeah.
Whenever I go, I mean, not that I've been to a ton, but when I used to live on the East Coast, I was kind of near New York.
Hmm.
And whenever I would see like a Broadway show or whatever, I'd just like end up always singing like like
What
I
did
would
you
just like
see?
have a Broadway show like in my fucking car every day.
Which one did you see? I'm just curious.
Okay, so obviously like Rent was like very popular
Hmm.
when I was growing up. And actually Anthony Rapp,
Hmm.
he was in that and he sang live for one of my shows before. When I
Ooh,
was
that's
dating.
something
Yeah, so that was really
nice.
cool.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So I would have to say hands down,
Rent.
Rent is my favorite.
How we gonna pay last year's rent? Every
That's funny. I
single
did
day
film.
I walk down the street, I hear people say, baby, so sweet ever since puberty. Everybody stares at me, boys, girls, I can't help it, baby. Okay.
I feel like you have so many talents. Like
Thank
you
you.
dance, you act,
Hmm. Sing.
you sing.
Yeah. I haven't really worked in a while, but it's I'm one of those people that would go because it's a Filipino thing. I would go to like I don't know if you have a round one there, but I would go and rent a karaoke room by myself and just belt it out for an hour. Because if you don't use it, you lose it. But I'll like jam pack as many songs as I can just to keep it in practice. But I haven't
Yes.
done that in a while, so I need to do that soon.
I don't know where I definitely had other questions on here, but I don't know where they went.
You can ask me
But
anything. Obviously, my
I
life isn't looking great.
remember someone asking what keeps you going every day.
What keeps me going every day? Well, a lot of caffeine and a couple of diet pills. And let's see, motivation that I have to get shit done. If you saw my closet, my hallway right now, because it's one of those things. When I went to Chicago, I come back, I just dump that suitcase. Then I went to Alabama and just dump that suitcase. And I just went to Tampa and dump that suitcase. So there's Mount St. Lucie in my hallway, and then laundry, and just getting caught up during the Memorial Day holiday. And I just want to chill, like my cat that's doing right now because he's like, and do nothing but just hang out.
I didn't realize how much you travel. You travel a lot.
I did this month, but I swear to God, after like yesterday, or no, 2 days ago, when I got back from Tampa, I'm like, I don't want to see a plane for a while. So the next time I go somewhere, I'm actually my first international trip in 2 years. I'm going to Paris with my mom. And that's the thing.
Oh, wow.
I know I haven't traveled with my mom in a long time because my stepfather is like basically a walking, talking vegetable because he had a bad stroke. And I'm like, how the heck are you going to leave him for a week? And then she's just like, no, she just said, just go. And I said, okay. And after everything we've experienced with our family recently, she kind of needs that. And she needs just like a vacation because she went through a lot. I took my sister's passing hard, but my niece and my mom really, really took it hard. So I want to show her a good time. I want to take her to the real Moulin Rouge. I want to take her to Disneyland in Paris. And I just want to eat French, freshly cooked croissant every day.
Sauce.
Croissant, croissant. I can say one thing in French. You ready? You ready? J'aimerais jouir sous ton visage. Do you know what I said?
I have no idea.
Well, translated means I want to come on your face. That's the only thing I know how to say in French.
Is that your favorite place?
No, I just, okay, I have a friend, he's a gay Filipino guy that knows how to say that phrase in every language. So I learned it in two languages. I learned it in French and American Sign Language. But I also know the voulez-vous coucher avec moi ce soir? Voulez-vous coucher avec moi? And then someone French would be like,
wait, do you know what they're saying though?
Yes.
Something about a threesome, right?
They're just like, would you like to come back to my room? And, yeah. So that's basically what it's saying. But if all those fails, voulez-vous coucher avec moi ce soir?
I remember singing that song when I was like very young, like too young to sing that song.
See, that's the thing. You got to see Moulin Rouge on Broadway because the first thing you see all these hot chicks in these corsets and it's all red in the background, and they're just like, "Hey, sister, go, sister," and you're like, "Yes, yes, yes." Woo. Cannot wait to experience the real deal. I'm sure the Moulin Rouge in Paris is like different than the Broadway show, but my mom says, okay, they show boobs. I said, I know they show boobs, but they're artistic boobs, like with the gems on it and feathers and, sparkle. So it's not really boobs. It's just there,
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Another question I remember someone asking is what helps you like prepare for a scene, and does that co-align with what you did to prepare for like actual mainstream scenes?
Well, first of all, mainstream, you don't have to get naked. But for my porn scenes, see, it depends. First of all, I realize now how much boy-girl scenes actually like suck every bit of life out of me. Because I was wondering, why the fuck is my body so sore? And I realized because the boy-girl scene I did the other day, but I need a good night's sleep. I need a lot of energy. I need also, depending on the scene, if it's an anal scene, which I don't do anymore, unfortunately. I hate to break some hearts. If it's an anal scene, I got to make sure that I prep, clean what's left in the chamber, take an Imodium, and then do an enema once an hour for every hour until the call time, which I don't know if you know who Mika Tan is. She's kind of an Asian porn legend. Do you know who she is?
I don't know who she is.
Oh my God. So many people are like, oh my God, Mika. No, she and I used to be best friends, which is kind of funny because before I went to the industry, I was a huge fan of the industry. So I had my favorite starlets and they were all Asian. I had DVDs all over my apartment. Like he thought I was like the biggest perv in the world. But I did date this one guy. This is kind of like weird to say. He and I used to walk. He lived in Orange. We used to walk to the video store, rent a Mika Tan video, 3 or 4 of them, every single day. Come home and watch.
This is before porn?
Yes. Maybe like 6 months before I went into porn. But then all of a sudden I just watched everything about Mika Tan. I felt like I knew her. Like I felt like she was my bestie. And then we were extras on a Reality King set where they tried to get a hold of every single Asian girl they could possibly get their hands on. And they put us all in Catholic schoolgirl outfits. And we filmed it in Hollywood, actually. So there's only one girl that was actually having sex, but the rest of us were doing like Girls Gone Wild type of thing. And I saw Mika there and I'm like, I walk up, I go, are you Mika? And she said, yeah. I said, I'm your biggest fan in the whole world. And then she and I became besties after that. And then,
God.
I know. And then like during the scene, she goes, oh, sit on my face. And I'm like, I'm sitting on Mika Tan's face. Oh my God. And then we became like really good besties. And she and I used to go out for Filipino food all the time, Korean barbecue, all this other stuff. And then unfortunately we had a falling out around 2013 or something, maybe a little after that. Yeah, but she was my best friend for a while. And the thing is, when she snaps. Like that's it. And a lot of people that know her know what she's like. And she just didn't want to be friends with me anymore. So, but she moved to a different part of the country. But that was my Mika Tan story, because she was everything I modeled my porn style after. I don't know if that makes sense.
Oh, no, definitely had my role models before I
Who
came
was
in
yours?
also. For me it was Asa and Cindy because they were
Mm-hmm,
like the two that were popular, very popular at the time.
mm-hmm,
And um Jackie had a subscription at Brazzers,
mm-hmm.
and I remember they were like on the front page of Brazzers. And yeah, so that's
One
why
other thing funny, I played Asa's mom in a movie once, a feature. I know, right? And I'm not that much older than her, but I'm like, first of all, Japanese Filipino. But I think they were just trying to get anyone they could get, and they knew I was sitting around my apartment doing nothing. So they're just like, let's get lucky. She's not doing anything. She'll play the mom. I'm like, okay, yeah, I did. And then I had to do a girl scene with Dana Vespoli. You know who she is, right?
uh-uh.
Oh, she's a long time legend. Long, I could be like this walking history book about porn. But she used to be married to Manuel Ferrara, and she is half
Okay.
Thai, half white, and she's been in for many, 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 many moons. But not just as a performer, but also as a director. And she's just big time now. But she had to play my lesbian lover, and she made me her bitch. And you know, it's a good porn scene where I gotta get a prop to show you. Just I take one of my business cards and I'm just kind of like, I love you, call me, I love you, call me. And then you're waiting by the phone. I'm like, oh, did she call? Did she call? And then you're just like, oh, she didn't call. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She never called.
No. Well, at least I was hoping she'd hire me for just a job sometime in the future, and she didn't. But yeah, that's Dana Vespoli. Yeah, she used to be married to Manuel Ferrara. She has 3 kids with him. And yeah, yeah. That was, I could tell you all about the Asian
Wow, you have so much
porn starlets
experience.
of the past. And not just that of experience and knowing it, but I also did my research. I had to know who everybody was. I had to watch their videos. I had to, know who's dating who, all this other stuff. And in the beginning, it was all about Asian websites that were out there. And yeah, that was kind of crazy. So I knew a lot of these girls just through meeting each other in passing through the Asian websites I used to shoot all the time.
Yeah,
Have you heard of him? I don't know if you ever heard of Mr. Chu's Asian Beaver.
I haven't.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Like anyone Asian, even remotely Asian, even kind of looking Asian, they would put on there, and they would put us all in schoolgirl outfits. Except here's the deal. Their distributors were Filipino, but they did not want to see one of their own in porn. So it'll say your name, but then underneath it'll say your ethnicity. And if you were Filipino, you had to change it.
What?
I know. Isn't that crazy? So I had to say, I said I'm Chinese in that video.
What?
I know.
That is so bizarre.
I know. But then again, have you heard of the series Screw My Wife, Please?
No.
Okay, it was a huge DVD series called Screw My Wife, Please. And I think in the beginning you did like sort of write in and be like, hey, I want this porn star to fuck my wife or whatever. But of course, in time, they had to become like actual performers. And those higher ups were Filipino and wanted to see their own in it. So then one time they had like an office somewhere in the valley, and I was picking up some talent copies, and everyone in that office was Filipino. Like, oh, lucky, yay, come on in. And so it can work one way or the other, but I don't know, that other one was still kind of like, okay, I guess I'm Chinese today.
Did they throw that on you on
Mm-hmm.
like that day?
Because well, yes. And then the thing is, I was looking at that website because I was all about scoping out all the Asian websites and being mad. I'm like, why haven't they shot me yet? Why haven't they shot me yet? What's wrong with me? What am I, chopped liver? And they'd shoot all my friends, and I'd be like, kind of sitting there like, okay, I guess I'm just chopped liver. And then I was wondering why all the girls that I knew were Filipino had to say something else or said something else. And so once I actually got on the set, I found out why. And I'm like, okay, I know. You should Google it. I don't know if it's still around. Mr. Chu, like CH, like Chu food, Asian Beaver. But
Do
yeah,
you think he was like trying to like protect like
I don't know.
what? It's so bizarre.
But Asians, there will always be work for us in porn. So, you know, because
Yes,
especially like Asian males, holy shit, oh my gosh, and the thing is, a lot of the mainstream companies aren't acknowledging it that much, but we have our fans now, and as long as they're there, then we have a job. Thank God for the fan sites.
yes.
Yeah.
Speaking of fan sites, is there anything that you would like to promote today aside from your book?
Oh, well, there's OnlyFans, but I wish I could fucking upload my next scene on there, but it's saying that I can't, so I'm gonna have to figure that out at some time today.
Yeah.
What else? Oh yeah, I just shot a scene for Mommy Blows Best, and I just shot a scene for Trike Patrol. And if a lot of people out there don't know what Trike Patrol is, it's a website that used to start off where they'd go to the Philippines in a tricycle. You know what a tricycle is, yeah. Of course you know it. What am I asking?
Well,
And
the
then
audience doesn't know.
okay, so Trike Patrol, I don't know if you know what like a tuk-tuk is in Thailand. It's basically like a motorcycle with like a little sidecar, and it's like all
Mhm.
covered. And you could sometimes haggle with them for a really cheap ride somewhere, which I've done many times. And the tricycle would go around and find girls, unsuspecting girls, and then take them back to wherever to film the scene. But now, with everything going on, especially with when Pornhub like did a total cleanse of all the non-performers, they have to do everything strictly by the book. So that's why I think they have to go with actual legitimate performers now. Yeah.
Yes.
But if you
Well,
have a
thank you
Filipino
so
fetish, that's the website to go to. Sorry, I
Yes,
talk
yes,
too
yes.
much, man, don't I? I talk too much.
No,
I
I had
talk
a
too
great time
much.
talking with you today.
Oh, sige. That's all I know. And that,
Salamat po.
maganda,
Um,
maganda, maganda.
maganda. Maganda means beautiful, everyone. And
Yeah,
salamat means thank you.
thank you. So my mom taught me how to make fun of people in Tagalog, but that's about it. Like,
Oh yeah, same. I know
mabaho,
all the curse words.
mabaho, or masarap, masarap. Or my mom would sometimes look at something and be like, pangit. And I'd be like, Mom! She'd be like, pangit!
Okay, we're not gonna teach
Oh,
teach them
how to say, oh
everything.
yeah. No, my mom, first of all, doesn't know I'm in porn, but my sister did. So I'm just like, oh, I wonder if my sister said anything down the line. And my sister was a huge support of me being in porn because suddenly I was the cool sister because I wasn't for the longest time. But yeah, so that's how that goes. Yeah.
Wow, that's cool that you were able to like keep that on the DL.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's so funny because I dedicate this book to my mom, and it says I'd like to dedicate this to my mom. My mom doesn't know what I do for a living, but she taught me to do everything to the best of your abilities, and she's my hero.
Oh, that's so
Yeah,
beautiful.
maybe I'll come out to her like in Paris under the Eiffel Tower. I'm like, oh, Mom, guess what? I might as well just get it out there, Just
Do
come
whatever feels
clean.
right.
No, it's awkward. I think